What's up guys, the Shockwave Totem build is a solid choice for anyone who seeks a safe, budget-friendly and fast-clearing build that is viable for both softcore and hardcore gameplay. If this is something for you, then listen up. For defenses, this build makes use of a high energy shield pool coupled with Eldritch Battery, Mind Over Matter, Arctic Armor and 2 cast damage taking setups with each their own defensive utility. Eldritch Battery further allows you to fuel the cost of your skills via energy shield, thus enabling you to reserve all your mana for additional buffs. Your main damage setup consists of Shockwave Totem, faster casting, increased area effect, physical to lightning, added fire damage and controlled destruction. To protect you against heavy physical damage, I recommend cast from damage taken, Immortal Call and increased duration. And while you won't be utilizing any endurance charges, Immortal Call's 0.4 base duration will still be able to save you against those dreaded one-shot physical damage hits, so it's well worth it in my opinion. To further improve your defenses, you should add yet another cast when damage taken setup. In this one you need to place cast when damage taken, Arctic Breath, greater multiple projectiles and temporal chains. With this setup you will, whenever you take a big hit, cast Arctic Breath and temporal chains at the enemies, thus making them much slower and you much safer. To improve your mobility and survivability you need to link Whirling Blades with faster attacks, Fortify and Blood Magic. And the reason for Blood Magic is to prevent the skill when used to stop your energy shield from recharging. In one of your 3-link setups I recommend Vault Discipline, Increased Duration and Assassin's Mark. And finally in your remaining 3-link you need to add in Hatred, Arctic Armor and Herald of Ash. In order to use Shockwave Totem your character needs to complete the Sever the Right Hand quest in Act 3. Until then I recommend using Flame Totem and Freezing Pulse, both linked with faster casting and added lightning damage. If you're interested in spending a bit of currency on cheap leveling items, you can also greatly speed up the leveling process by buying yourself 2 Lifesprig wands and equipping 1 in each hand. When you reach level 28 I suggest getting yourself a 4-link and adding in your Shockwave Totem setup to this. Around level 50 you should start looking for a cheap 5-link armor and add your setup to this. As for the skill tree, make it your first priority to grab Ancestral Bond. From here make your way through the Witch start over to the Shadow start of the tree, while picking up the increased area of effect, Totem and life nodes as you see fit. Whenever you start to have more than 700 energy shield available, I recommend picking up both Eldritch Battery and Mind Over Matter. Lastly, focus on grabbing the remaining crit, life and jewel nodes throughout the skill tree. And please note, if you're in doubt on how to spend your skill points, then make sure to check the leveling skill tree templates listed in the forum build guide for a more detailed step-for-step approach. The link is in the description of the video. The Ascendancy class of choice for this build is the Inquisitor. Here you need to pick up Righteous Providence and Inevitable Judgment for a massive damage boost. For the remaining 2 points I recommend Instruments of Virtue, however Augury of Penance is a viable choice as well if you prefer. As for the bandits, you need to help Ogre on normal and kill them all on both cruel and merciless difficulty. For your gear you primarily need to look for affixes such as increased spell damage, critical strike chains and multiplier. Then cast speed, life, evasion and energy shield to make yourself more tanky. Remember that more energy shield also makes Mind Over Matter more efficient. And then of course enough elemental resistances so that you can be capped at 75% in merciless. As for your weapon and shield, you will want high spell damage and spell critical rolls. The shield should additionally have a high life roll and lots of elemental resistances. The weapon needs to be a dagger in order to use Whirling Blades, and I would also recommend getting one with as much attack speed as possible to speed up the animation of Whirling Blades. To cover your strength and dexterity requirements of your skill gems, try to get a bit of those attributes on the gear you buy or craft as well. There's only one unique item I'm going to recommend for this build, but please keep in mind it is in no way required for the build to work. The item is the Maligaro's Virtuosity. These gloves provide a significant critical strike change and multiplier increase and will thus greatly increase your damage output. Just keep in mind those aren't necessary if you can't afford them. When it comes to jewels, I recommend looking for a mix of the following affixes: increased maximum life, critical strike multiplier, spell damage, cast speed and physical damage. The flask setup I recommend is 2 Divine Life Flasks of Staunching, 1 Ample Granite Flask of Iron Skin, a Basalt Flask and an Ample Quicksilver Flask of Warding to help protect you against curses. And that's it guys, make sure to check the forum guide for more details and for future updates to the build. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments section or in the forum post. If you liked the video and want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and bros, do you even nerd?